Hey you guys, I'm here with day 7 of Tim Holtz's 12 tags of Christmas, and once again there are products that are missing. I don't have the Kraft Glassine. I took one of his classes and I thought that there was at least one sheet in some of the stuff I had left over from the class, but apparently not. So we're going to improvise. And the other day I was in the restroom shopping, and the attendant was in cleaning the bathrooms, and she happened to have a big stack of these wax bags that they use them for trash can liners. So I asked her if I could borrow a few, because it reminded me of something that we all dearly love, and I wanted to see how it was different, basically, more than anything. So we're going to give this a shot and see if it's any better or any worse than the one that Tim uses. Also, I did not have the stamp set that he used, so what I did was I combined these two stamps together to make this, and it fits right here. So I'm going to go ahead and use this for the top of my tag for the stamp set. So let's get started. What he does in his he starts out with I think a gold mixative, a liberal amount of that, and then I think he said he uses like some of the lettuce, and these are just the ones I have. This one is called Meadow. I don't know why I happen to have some of the green. I think because I was doing a Halloween project one time and it required a lot of the greens. And then I have the Stream. I don't have any of his reds at all, but I do have these. So let's see. Okay, and then he says to pour the blending solution on there to blend it all together. Okay, so let's see what we get. It might be the same and it might not. Who knows? You don't know till you try, right? So here we go. I think I have too much of the Stream and not enough of the other colors. I'll put some more greens on there. There we go. I'm liking that a lot better. I guess the Stream is supposed to add that kind of, what is it, sprucey kind of color to it. Gold to it too. This is just play. Creative play, as my dear friend Nick Jan says all the time. While I'm playing with this, I want to say thank you guys for your comments on yesterday's tags. Truthfully, it really didn't bother me what she said. I was just addressing it because I just didn't know if anybody else was going to feel that way. I wanted to make sure they understood my side of it too. So I respect the fact that the lady had mentioned to me that she was upset, because a lot of times people hide behind that little thumbs down and they don't bother to tell you why they don't like something that you've done or said. So I respect the fact that she actually went out and said something to me. So no worries, I don't care. I mean, I don't do what I do for the negativity from other people. I'm not going to let it get to me. I just wanted to make sure that if others felt the same way and just didn't speak up, that I gave my side of the story. So anyway, I'm liking the way this looks. It's really pretty. I don't think this is really the effect that he gives with his version. Okay, so then he says to heat it up. I'm liking it so far. Now let's sprinkle it up and see what we get. I mean, obviously, it's not going to be as good as the one with the Kraft Glassine because the Kraft Glassine has more of a waxy coating on it. But you never know. It might turn out to be something that we really like. I mean, it looks like it's going to at least achieve the look that I was after. I kind of like it. It's working in a pinch, let's put it that way. Okay, so we're going to flatten that back out. And then I believe the next step that he did after he crumpled it up is he came back with this vintage photo. Oh my goodness, don't go stealing the sanitary napkin bags now out of trash cans. That's probably not wise. And certainly don't say Tonya told you to do it. Okay, now let's come back and we're going to heat set this again. Okay. And then we're going to cut it into strips and die cut it. So I'm going to go take care of the rest of the tag, and then we'll see what it looks like. I can tell you now it's not quite the same as the Kraft Glassine. It definitely is not. I mean, like, you can't see the crackles in it like you can the Kraft Glassine, and I can't tell if, I don't think the ink is running off of it, and it's a lot thinner. But you know what, for these tags and for what I'm doing now, it works in a pinch. It's definitely not a substitution for the Kraft Glassine, but for what, you know, our goal is for these tags, I think it's going to work out just fine. So I'm going to go die cut it and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I don't have a lot of, well, I don't have any of the distressed stamps that Tim used to make the scratchy look on the tag. I was able to get this far with the tag, and I really love the way this looks. But he uses like a background that's kind of somewhat distressed looking on this tag, and I just don't have those stamps. So what I've decided to do is to create a distressed look using, I guess he used the pumice stone to stamp it. So before I try this on the original tag, I'm going to kind of try the technique out here first. So this is just basically the same cardstock that's on this tag. Basically what I'm going to do is I have my pumice stone, and I'm going to just kind of hit it on the music here and there. I'm not going to do the whole tag, and then I'm going to put this down on my mat, and then I'm going to kind of stamp it on here. And I'm liking that, but I don't want to see these little boxy edges, so I think I have an idea for that. Let's see. We're going to take and we're going to do the same thing, but this time I'm just going to do a circular motion. Then I have my water bottle here. I'm going to hit it with that. That's going to make that ink run just a little bit on the stamp. Now let's try it again. Stamp it on the mat, and then let's stamp it on here. Oh yeah, liking that a lot better. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that layer. And since I've already stamped it one time, it's going to be even fainter, which is better. So I'm just going to kind of lightly put it on here. Ooh, make sure this music staffs are going in the right direction before you do that. That would be craziness. Okay. And that didn't show up at all. So let's try again. See, this is live, guys. This is me completely 100% live. Okay, we're going to wet it. That's going to help the ink run a bit. Stamp it onto here. And then I'm going to come back onto the tag. Make sure it's going in the right direction. Oh, love it. See, it's on there. You can kind of see it. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing with the script. And I have just do a few little pieces of it here and there. Hit it with this, make it run a little bit. Put it on here. Then I'm going to go, again, make sure it's going in the right direction. I'm going to come right over the top of that music paper down here. Okay, it's getting that kind of like dimensional look that we're after. Dry this just a little bit. Now, as far as the scratches go, I don't think I'm going to be able to achieve that look. But what I do have here is a flourish, which would kind of help to match that flourish that is on, oh, let's see, what else do I have in here? Maybe I do have some of his. Live TV. Nah, none of the ones that I have are really distressy looking. That's going to have to go on the wish list too, because I really like the distress look. So I'm just going to take this stamp and I'm not going to put it on, I'll clean those in a minute when I'm off camera, but I'm not going to put it on a stamp pad because this way I can get an uneven stamp. And I'm just going to kind of come down and flank that just a little bit. Oh yeah, liking it, liking it. It might be getting a little too busy, but I'm okay with that. Oh yeah. Okay, so this is what I have. Again, it's going to look a lot different than his because I don't have all the scratches and stuff. Where did my lid go? Okay, so now we're going to assemble and I'll be right back. Okay, so my tag has been assembled and here's what it looks like. I'm very pleased with it. Basically, I just had a piece of lace that I just ripped apart and tore apart and tattered and everything, and then I took, and at the top here, these are the pieces that I ripped off, so I added them up here to the seam binding, and of course I added the bobbles. I have to say I'm not a big fan of the paper bag versus the glassine. The glassine's a much thicker product, and it's also a much waxier product from what I've worked with it before. But in a pinch, I think it did pretty good considering I didn't have the others. Also, I did not do my branch the way Tim did it. This is actually the top of the tree that I had left over from the other day when I trimmed the tree down on the other tag. So I just was using what was on my desk instead of recreating. But I'm happy with the distressing effect in the background. I'm happy with this overall. I think the tag looks very similar to Tim's. So anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I can't wait to see what happens on day 8.